I'm blown away every time I see August speak. The amount of passion and intellect in this guy, it's phenomenal. And as we begin, our journey is going to start. Our journey starts in the airport lounge at Auckland International Airport. And I'd just like to welcome onto the stage John Papa, a technical evangelist in the Silverlight team at Microsoft. Welcome, John.
Thanks, Nigel.
Great to meet you.
Great.
Is this your first time in New Zealand?
Yes, it is.
So we're here in the airport lounge. You've been in here for about 10 minutes. What's your impression so far?
I'll tell you, it was great. And one thing I got to ask you about, though, is as we're on the plane and landing, we were talking about the safety procedures, and they kept on referring to this rugby thing and the All Blacks, and they even gave me this ball. What is this All Blacks thing?
So August alluded to it a little bit earlier in his presentation, saying this whole country dressed in black, fanatical about our rugby team. Well, the All Blacks, they are the rugby team for New Zealand. And we get behind them because they're winners, except for when it comes to World Cup here. But hopefully we'll change that in the next 12 months. Hey, what do you got there, John?
So it's the ball they gave us on the airplane.
So what you'll notice is we're actually sitting here at not a normal table. We're at a Microsoft Surface table. And it's interactive, so we can put both our pairs of hands down on the surface, and it's identifying the touch points from all of these things. But not only is it picking up our hands, see what happens when you put the ball down there, John.
That's pretty cool. So I know what Xbox Live and Bing are, but what is Sky? I heard you refer to it earlier.
So Sky, they're the broadcast partner for the All Blacks in New Zealand.
Okay.
It's a place where we get the live matches.
Let's give this a click.
It's a touch, it's not a click.
Touch, that's right.
So what we see happen here is we've gone off to Windows Azure to the cloud, and we've Sky's streamed down some recommendations based on the rugby. So you're seeing a few clips here of the highlights that have been played out over the last month. So we can drag these off the ball, and we can actually identify them and move them down onto the surface. Check that one out, John. It's the winning of the Bledisloe Cup.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So what is going on over here with the guy with the tongue?
Yeah, so the guy with the tongue, this is the haka. This is the Maori welcome, the war dance that we do before the matches. It's a tradition that's been going back 100 years. This is the special one. This is the one they pull out when they play the big matches against, big matches like this was against South Africa to start the Tri-Nations. Check it out.
All right. I got to see this. Whoa. It looks pretty intense.
When Steve Bum was down here a few years ago, we gave him a traditional Maori welcome, and I think he was quite blown away. He was awe-inspired by these guys.
I can see why.
I'll just close that off. So have you got a phone there, John?
I sure do.
I'm going to put that down on the surface. So what's happening here is John puts his phone down on the surface. You want to just put your number in there.
Sure. Nobody watch.
So now this is a normal phone, and it's been put down on the surface. And what's happening is it's actually triggering a phone call. And this is a phone call that's coming from Sky, where you can find out more information about what's going on with rugby.
Why, yes. Yeah, I'd like to learn more about these All Blacks. Cool.
Now, John's got a pretty cool phone. But what I've got here is an awesome phone. This is a Windows Phone 7 prototype. And we're going to be shipping Windows Phone 7 in New Zealand later before the end of the year. And I just want to show you a few things about this device. You'll notice the fluid navigation. Got multiple touch points where I touch my fingers on two parts of the screen there. And I've also got some of the launch apps that we're going to be releasing, made by developers here in New Zealand. So this AlphaJax game built by Keith Patton. It's an amazing multiplayer word game that really takes advantage of the phone. If you want to learn more about that, go to Keith's session on building the AlphaJax game. And this one here, this is My Tours. So if you're traveling to another country, another part of the world, you can actually download tours for the city that you're going to visit before you go there. So if you're going down to Wellington on your trip, we could go and explore the waterfront down in Wellington, see a map of the tour points, the points of interest, and then actually start the tour and go from place to place, finding more about what's going on each step of the way. So this phone, I've been using it for a little while, and I really love it. I hate to go back to any other device. But we're not here to talk about the phone. We're here to interact with the surface that, come back to rugby and interact with the surface that we're talking about. So let's see what happens when I put my phone down on the surface. Now, you noticed what happened there over on the ball. When I put my phone down on the surface, the video's changed.
Yeah.
And now we've got a different set of clips that are being thrown out on the ball. Now, why is that happening? What's happening there? Well, what's happening is the recommendations are being updated from the cloud because I've got some favorites on my particular phone. So if I click the Show Favorites button, you'll see my phone favorites, the things that I like. Check that try out. Jonah Lomu versus England, World Cup 95. I carry markers to this with me. It's amazing content. And this one here, the Corey Jane try against Australia that's just been happening just recently.
Oh.
I can see that?
Yeah. Check that one out.
So let's have a look at these recommendations. So what's Guy suggested that I check out? Well, I can see because I had that Corey Jane try there, there's actually a try of Corey Jane versus France that happened last November. So when I take this one out, I'll just have a look at that. If I click that Sky button, we're having a real-world conversation, so I don't want to get in the way of that. If I put my phone down,
whoa,
see that? The bit's jumped off the screen onto my phone. No wires, just happened in real time.
Do it again.
You want to see that again? So this match, this is an upcoming match of Australia versus the All Blacks. You want to watch that with me next weekend, John?
Yeah, that'd be good.
So if I click that, put my phone back down on the table, see that? Jumping, no wires, up onto the device. So let me just plug in and show you what's going on here on the screen. Now that I've got this on my mobile device, I'm able to press the record button and set my MySky unit back at home to record that match. Put it back in my pocket, and we can move on. You might want to chuck that rugby ball down into the crowd, John.
Yeah, maybe somebody out here wants it.
So we're going to leave our first scene in the airport lounge. You want to go check out a fight? We'll go see the Tua versus Cameron fight.
Always up for a good fight?
So now we're transitioning out of that first scene of the demo, and we're live. We're turning up at the Tua versus Cameron fight. I'm just about to put my phone back in my pocket, and a notification pops up on my phone. Now, because the phone has geolocation, it knows the time that I am and the location that I am. It's coming together and saying, well, am I at this David Tua versus Shane Cameron fight? And if I hit yes here on the phone, what it's doing now is it's launching a companion app for me that's linked to the live event that I'm currently at. Now, this could contain metadata or additional information about the fight that's taking place. If I'm not at the live event, I could be at the pub watching this with my mates. Now, at the pub, I don't necessarily have control over the TV that's in the room, but I can pull my phone out, launch this app, and get more information beyond what's necessarily being broadcast. So now the fight's actually underway. We've got Shane Cameron over here. Show your moves, Shane. Let's see your moves. And then we come in, and something happens in the fight. Oh. And then, as I reach into my pocket, because I missed what happened in the fight, I've just pressed the instant replay button in my pocket. And what's happened is we've clipped back 30 seconds. We've taken the content using the live smooth streaming, and it's now streamed down into my mobile device using a quality that's appropriate for the network that my device is currently on. And we can see that there. And then we get back in, we're having the fight again, and then something else, big hit, and he hits the deck. And I press the button again, and again I get another instant replay. Now, I'm not storing this content. All I'm doing is taking a marker to this point of content with the associated data that's happening during the fight, pushing this up into Windows Azure, and then streaming it back in a way that's appropriate using the smooth streaming. See the ground shake there when you hit? That was awesome.
Thanks for inviting me to New Zealand.
Thanks, John. Enjoy your session.
I will.
Thank you. Thanks, John. So for the final scene in our presentation, what happens when we actually leave the fight and then I get home? And I've got another form factor here. I've got the HP multi-touch tablet. Now this could be anything. It could be a desktop machine. It could be my TV. But the idea is really around presence and having that presence follow from the table to the phone to the mobile app and then back to my home environment. And what you notice, if you actually look closely at the tablet here, here's the recommendation I moved to my phone earlier of the Corey Jane try versus France. And we can actually see that playing back down on the machine. It's got my favourites. It's got the reminder to record the upcoming Tri-Nations match. And then also we've got the highlights from the fight that we've just been at, the Tua Cameron fight. But not only do we have the recommended highlights that have been delivered by Sky, I've also got my highlights that we've created during the fight. So we see here the instant replays, and this time the quality might be better because I could be on a broadband connection getting a higher stream quality of the video streaming down. We'll see that. Let's see the king hit. And here comes the king hit. Boom. So really, just to wrap that up, what I've shown you here is I've shown you a cloud service which is controlling the delivery of content and the markers to all of these different devices. The live smooth streaming over here, which is capturing the event once in real time and encoding to all the different streams, and then the ability to deliver a snippet of that video with associated data to the different devices that we've got. So now, when you think about this and you think about productionizing this sort of technology, what's going to happen when you get more and more of these applications turn up over time? And this is where I've been working with NV Interactive and New Zealand Cricket. So a lot of people who know me will know that I'm also a sports fan. And what I want to announce is we're about to launch right here on stage. This is a world first. Nobody has done this, as far as I'm aware, anywhere else. And if you go to blackcaps.co.nz this morning, you'll notice there's a new tile on the homepage called the Black Caps Video Vault. And the video analysis team has been capturing thousands of videos over the last 5 years of every home one-day international and 2020 match. And inside of those videos, there's been every 4, every 6, every dismissal, every key moment of every match, captured in 30-second clips with all the associated metadata that I've been talking about before. So if you actually go to the Black Caps website and launch the Video Vault, what you'll notice is this is a Silverlight pivot control that's displaying all of that information out onto the screen. Now, this is a live demo. It's happening over the web as we speak, so there we are. We've still got internet connection. Thank you all for not using it all. And what we notice here is the design team at NV have created visual cues to identify the different thumbnails for the different teams. So if I look at this based on date, we now see 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, and we can quickly see the teams that were visiting during those years. If I filter this based on opposition, we can now see that Australia is visited a lot more often than some of the other countries, Sri Lanka, West Indies, England. If I was to do a search up here, I could look for the videos that include Bond bowling to Ricky Ponting. And now I'm just seeing all the videos where Bond is bowling to Ricky Ponting. And if I look closely, I can see just the ones where he gets out. And over here, we've got more information about this particular delivery. We can see the venue, the bowler, the batsman, when it took place, and a lot of different metadata that we can click through. And this is the difference between what you've already seen in Pivot before. If I click this, we play the video.
Oh, that's a rough slaughter. It's got club, is it?
I must have hit it.
Well, Ponting doesn't agree for 1 second. Gary Baxter has been convinced by
He's got to go for a duck, and it's the only time he didn't hit the ball.
a big moment. Well, I tell you what, here the glove.
And this is amazing. This technology, this data, it can be viewed in any sort of way. If we look at Brendan McCullum, so I can search on plays that just include Brendan McCullum. I can say just against Australia. And then I can say just when he hit 6 runs. I just want the 6s against Australia. And I want that by bowler. And then I want to look at the ones just when Nathan Bracken was bowling. And the sensational 6 where he won the game with the world record chased down to 346.
I believe he can do it later in the over. Oh, that's bad. Bad for Australia. Great for New Zealand. He got it wrong. McCullum invented. He went outside off stump and he's...
So really, I encourage you to go and check out the Black Caps Video Vault after the keynote. But also think about what you can do in relation to this technology. We use media, we use sports, we use video. But really the ability to capture, filter and deliver back is technology that is useful in can be used in business context in anything that you do in your day-to-day lives.